Hi guys. We'll just give it a few moments to see if anyone else is going to be joining us, and then we'll make a start. If there's any issues with the sound or anything, let me know, because I'll be turning the comments off so that you can see the screen clearly once we get started. So I've done today's class suitable for pregnancy. So if you are doing this from pregnant, you can do this as well. What I would advise is if you have a blanket for your knees, if you have anything going on with the knees today, just put extra padding on the knees, because we'll be doing some kneeling stuff today as well. Suitable for all levels. It's going to be a little more challenging than some of the classes. So just see how you find it, take it easy, do what you can. We really are going to go for a full body stretch class today. Okay, so any issues with the sound or anything, or can't see me, because I'm going to turn your comments off now. So if you need to, let me know. Okay. Right. So let's make a start, shall we? And we're going to come to start in a comfortable seat. So if you don't like sitting completely flat, just have a little cushion nearby to sit onto, or again a blanket will be fine. As you come into your seat, we're going to come with a crossed legs crossed. That feels okay. Just have a little shift in the glutes so you're sitting up nice and tall onto those sit bones. And notice your posture here. Notice if you're very slouched, looking down, and this tends to be what we do when we are feeling quite low energy. So if that's how your posture currently is, I want you to see if you can just start to lift up, lengthen along up to the crown of the head, and just roll those shoulders back. Just take a couple of rolls here until you feel comfortable with rolling them down the back. And we're just going to start with the palms resting down onto our thighs here. And either just keeping your gaze somewhere soft, or close the eyes if that feels comfortable. So we just take a few moments here at the start of our practice, just to notice how you feel. Noticing the energy that's around you. The energy that's within you. And then begin to notice if you're holding on to tension anywhere in the body. Sometimes when we're feeling stressed or anxious, we hold those shoulders up, we grip our jaw, clenching the teeth. So see if you can just soften, giving yourself the permission to melt into this moment. And we're going to dedicate this next 30 minutes to you, your mind, your body, your spirit. Start to notice the breath now. And let's take a lovely deep breath in through the nose. Let the belly expand as it fills up with air. Bring it all the way up into the heart space. And release it, this time out through the mouth. Let it out, sigh as you exhale. Again, in through the nose. Open the mouth wide. Breathe it out. And now just try to find that natural rhythm of a deep inhale and exhale through the nose. But as you exhale through the nose, see if you can still keep some level of force. So we're coming into that Ujjayi breath, and you've got that little restriction at the back of your throat here. So you take that lovely deep breath in, and you breathe it out through the nose. And you still got that hushing sound. So if you can maintain this breath as we go through our practice today. Now from here, bring hands together, keep those eyes closed. And I want you to set yourself an intention for our class, or perhaps an intention for the day. Something really positive, something strong, something for you to work towards, whatever it is, small or big. Set that intention and start to generate this heat between the hands as you rub the palms together. manifesting that intention. See it over and over again. And then place the palms over the eyes, feeling that energy radiate through as you gently blink the eyes open. Feeling ready for this class. Gently bring the hands down. And as we inhale, right arm comes up. We're not taking it over to the left. You're just bringing that right arm up. As we slide the right side of the body up, your right shoulder is lifted and just start to roll around the right wrist. And open and close the hands. How much more time are we spending on our phones lately? So our hands are constantly in this weird claw-like position. So just start to release here. Maybe you can reach up a little higher, keeping that right sit bone pressed to the mat. And then circle that arm back, place the hand behind you. We'll go to the left now. Left arm reaches up. Lift up as high as you can. Really reach up. And again, circle around that left wrist. And then see if you can open and close that hand just a few times here, releasing the fingers, creating a little stretch. Bring the hands behind the back. From here, now can you interlace the fingers? So you're holding hands behind your back as you squeeze the shoulders open. Just look to the left and look to the right. And then as we release the hands, place the fingertips down, reach the toes back, just start to lean forward into this fold. And if you're pregnant, it might just be a really gentle lean forward. But if you have the space and the flexibility to do so, maybe your hands come out in front of you. But you don't want to be doing this, where you're hunching those shoulders, just trying to grab the mat. If you're doing that, just keep your hands here. Remember, don't let the ego take over. The ego tells you to go where your body doesn't want to. And rise back up. Now our right leg comes out to the side. As much out to the side as you can. You're going to point those toes up. And just point and flex the foot. Just starting to see how you feel in the ankle here. And when you move the foot, you feel it all the way up the leg. So see if there's any kind of tightness here when you make that movement. Then keep the heel reaching away from you, and you'll notice this left knee just wants to creep up, especially if you've got anything going on with this hip. So press that knee down as you sit up nice and tall. Now from here, if you are pregnant, particularly if you're in the later trimester 2 or trimester 3, you're just going to bring that hand down to the side as your left arm reaches up and stretches over, just into this gentle side stretch. But if you can, you're going to reach forward towards the toes. So we're getting deeper here. Bend the elbow, rest the head on top. Now can you see how my left shoulder is reaching forward? You want to reach it back as much as you can, and then let that arm become heavy. So we get into this lovely deep side stretch, nice big breath into the ribs, and breathe it out as we exhale. My right foot stays really active the whole time, and I'm still actively trying to press my left knee towards the mat. Inhale, bring this left arm up now, and bring that hand behind you. Right hand comes forward. Now this next stretch is a bit of a back bend, and it's safe to do through pregnancy, but if it feels too much in your shoulders this morning, then you're going to skip it and you're just going to extend that arm forward and lift the chest. If you can, as you press through your back hand, press your right foot onto the mat, come onto the left shin and bring your hips up as you engage the glutes and bring your right arm back. Breathe into here. Your glutes want to be working here. Then circle this right arm down. Reach that arm forward, left arm reaches forward, hold. Keep reaching, hold it here. And rise back up. Bring the right leg in, bring the left leg out. Nice work. So right foot towards the left thigh. I'll come over a bit so you can see me better. And reach those toes up, flex away, lift and point. Nice work. Just notice if this leg feels different to the other. And you might be able to get this leg down further, especially now we've warmed it up. Then with those toes reaching in towards you, sit up nice and tall. Option 1, the pregnancy option, you'll bring your fingertips to the side, right arm reaches up and over, and bring that right shoulder back. Breathe into here. If you've got enough space to do so, and if you feel comfortable enough, see if you can bring this left hand towards the foot as much as you can. Bending the elbow, and you either want to be on the shin or the thigh, so don't rest onto the knee. You'll rest your head on top. Keep reaching with this right arm and let that arm become heavy. As you bring this right shoulder back, look up towards underneath the right arm here. Breathe into here. I'm going to breathe deeply into those ribs and let it go. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, slowly bring that arm up, slowly come all the way up, bring that hand behind you. So we're going back into that supported wild thing. So remember, we have the option of just bringing the arm out and up as you hold it here. You're still getting a stretch in those shoulders. Otherwise, come onto the right shin, place the left foot down, squeeze those glutes, reach that left arm back. Breathe into here. Then as we lower down, lower the sit bones, extend your arms forward, reach forward, length along the back. Hold it here, maybe you can go a little deeper. And bring yourself back up. Nice work, everybody. Let's come over now onto all fours. Start with a little rock in the wrist here. Stretching out those wrists. Make those rocks in the hips, so nice big rocks. Side to side. Take it the other way, rock it out. Notice what's going on with the hands. Spread the hands nice and wide. Gripping into those fingertips, those knuckles. So it's almost like these little spiders on the mat. And then as we come back to our center, you're going to walk the legs so just so they're in towards one another. And you're going to press the ground away. Try not to arch the back and dump into this. You want to be really strong. So if you're pregnant, it's going to feel like you're trying to hug baby in. If you're doing this without pregnancy, it's like if you ever feel for where your hips and your ribs are, if you go to cough, can you see how they kind of jerk in towards one another? It's that sensation here. So we're switching on those stabilizer muscles in our core. Stay here and then bringing your thighs towards one another so you've got better balance. You're going to take your right leg out to the back of you as you point the toes down, heel presses back. Now you're going to bend the knee and you're going to take that knee out to the side. Your body will want to dump to the left, but try and keep the weight spread between both hands. Lift that knee higher if you can and see if you can straighten the leg. This might be a little tough to do if you're doing this through pregnancy, but see how you find it. And then take that leg forward, keep it straight as you place that foot down. And then just walk the foot in towards the edge of your mat. So your knee is stacked over the ankle. Come onto those fingertips, look straight ahead. And you're just going to kind of circle around here, creating that space. Nice deep breath. And then from here, as we come forward, press through the hands. You're going to take this right leg all the way back slowly. Take it over to the left edge of the mat, place the toes down. You're going to drop your knee down. So your right thigh is in front of the left. Take your left toes over towards the right edge of your mat. So maybe so you can see. Your right toes to the left edge of the mat. And you're going to rock it forwards and backwards, stretching those outer hips here. Breathe into here. Really strong, and then we release. Thighs back together, set yourself up. Set up those stabilizer muscles, and we're going to do that onto the other side now. So as you press the ground away, you're going to take those left foot back behind you. Don't let that hip open. Then from here, bending the knee, turn your knee out to the side. Try and lift your knee higher if you can, and really try to press evenly between both hands. Straighten out that leg, and take that leg forward. Walk the foot into the edge of the mat, onto those fingertips, look straight ahead, broaden those collarbones and just start to rock it out. So we're really getting into those hips here. Nice big stretch. Great work, everyone. Now from here, press down through those hands and slowly take that leg all the way back. Take it over to the right edge of the mat. So you place the toes down, place the knee down outside of your right leg. You'll place your left toes over to the right toes over, sorry, right toes to the left toes to the right, and then rock it. Forwards and backwards, just feeling this stretch, squeeze the thighs in towards one another. And then we release. Toes tucked under. Let's come up into our first downward dog. So you lift those knees and you take those hips back. If you look at your hands, you want to press down through your index fingers and your thumbs and the knuckles, and you're kind of switching on those push muscles. As you press the ground away, you're trying to reach back. So you've got this lovely length along the back here. You can have the knees as bent as they need to be. You'll just gently take the head side to side. Check where the feet are placed wider here. Pedaling through the legs. End of that exhale, tiptoe the feet all the way forward. You're going to place your toes down behind the wrists. So then they're quite wide, but they're not as wide as the edges of your mat. And then from here, as you look forward, you're just going to drop those sit bones down. So your knees are going to tap your elbows, look ahead. Then press up back into that fold. And only fold as much as you can here. If you need to keep the legs bent to do this, you can. But I don't want to see any of this. So keep your hands grounded. Exhale to fold. Inhale, look ahead. Tap the elbows knees onto the elbows. Then press back into that fold. Knees to elbows. Look ahead. Back into that fold. Then this time, keep the feet grounded, lift the chest. Hands to hips, come all the way up. Arms reach around you, arms up to the sky, palms together. Big breath in, stretch it up. Exhale, arms all the way around, hands down the backs of the legs, back into that fold. And if you're coming into this fold from pregnancy, just make sure you have enough space for baby here. So if that means having your hands further forward, you can do that too. Now from here, we're going to step our right foot all the way back, and we're going to lower down that right knee. So we bring the hands onto that left thigh, and we're going to come up here into this Anjaneyasana. Now, front foot's a little bit wider out than what we would normally have it. Bring your left hip back, right hip forward, and feel those stabilizing muscles in the core switching on again. Now from here, just pressing your left thigh away from you to stretch out this right hip. If you're feeling it in that back knee, untuck the toes, press down through the top of the foot. Now right arm up to the sky, lift up as high as you can, like we did at the start, and just start to circle around that wrist. And then bring the arm under, place the back of the hand to your lower back, and see if you can slide it to your left hip as you bring your right shoulder back, look over to your right. Come back to center, release that arm up, and bring that hand down, step it back into downward dog. We're going to take those stretches the other side. So have a little pedal in the legs here, rocking those hips, big breath in through the nose. And with your exhale, tiptoe the feet forward. You're placing the toes behind the wrist. Check that you have these straight lines of energy between the big toe edges, so big toes point forward, then hands come down. So inhale, think about having that lovely flat back, and then bend the knees as you press the knees towards the elbows, look straight ahead. Exhale, press down into this fold. Inhale, look up, bend the knees, tap. Exhale as we fold. Inhale, lift and stay with the legs straight this time. Then micro bend in the knees as you bring hands to hips, root to rise. Arms reach around you, stretch up to the sky. Exhale, arms reach around and all the way down into this fold. As our left foot comes back this time, lower that left knee as we come up. Now place that top of the foot of your left foot down if that feels it in the knee. And press your right thigh away. Then lift that left arm up. Stretch it up. And then sweep the arm underneath. Back of the hand comes onto your lower back, around to your right hip. Bring that left shoulder back slowly. Just starting to create that opening in the back here. It's a gentle rotation. It's an open twist, so perfectly safe to do through pregnancy. And then release, bring the arm around and up to the sky. Bring the hands down. We're going to step it back into downward dog, pedal through those legs. Great work, everybody. So we're going to come into the next round of movement. So we're going to take it up a little bit here. So if you have a look in my downward dog, I'm going to walk my feet just a little bit closer towards one another as I bring the weight onto my left foot. Now, if you're doing this through pregnancy and it's just a bit too much in down dog, bring your knees down and do this with one knee on the mat. But if you feel comfortable doing this in your downward dog, lift that right leg up. Try to keep the legs straight, that's the more advanced option, but to make it easier, you're going to bend that right knee. Your right leg will come out to the side, flex the heel away from you, and then that right foot comes forward as we place that foot down to the edge of your mat. So you can do that with your knee bent if that's easier. and lower down this left knee. Look straight ahead of you, big breath in. Walk your hands to the left edge of your mat, keep your right knee over the ankle, and breathe into here. Great work, everybody. You should really feeling this lovely stretch in the hip here. Then walk your hands back into center, and from here you're going to lift this left knee up. Your left foot, either in 1 or 2 steps, is going to come to the outside edge of your mat. Now the first option is to have your feet parallel and stay in this fold. But if you can, I'm going to lose my head out of it. If you can, turn your heels in, turn your toes out, and you're going to drop into this Malasana squat. As you bring your sit bones down, you bring hands to heart. So remember, if this is a really deep stretch. If it's too much, stay in that fold. You can come up onto the toes, but you will really struggle with wobbling around here. So just see what works for you. Now, no hunchy shoulders. Open the chest. We want openness in the body here. Now, if you can, to go just a little bit further, right arm comes out towards the right, left arm stretches up to the sky into this side stretch. If you are doing this from pregnancy, this might feel a little much depending on how big baby is. And then bring hands to heart. Now, option 1, you're going to come into a fold first and then come up. Or if you can, press through the feet, rise all the way up as we work those glutes and turn the toes in. Now, from here, keep your gaze fixed, somewhere that doesn't move as we come into that balance. Going to bend the right knee, press through your right foot. Spread through the right toes. Cross your left thigh over the right into this little eagle leg, so cross leg position. And if you can, you're going to tuck the left toes behind the right calf. If you're struggling with your balance today, just place the toes onto the ground. Draw in your stabilizing muscles are switched on. Look straight ahead, sink a little lower. Outer hips being stretched to squeeze those thighs together. Then release, step this left foot back and open into that warrior 2 position in the legs. For pregnancy variation, just have it heel to heel, so your left foot comes forward slightly. Otherwise, we're aiming for heel to arch. Then extend through the arms as you look over your right fingertips, breathe into here. So strong, everybody. Now from here, turn your right toes towards the left edge, so your feet are back to parallel. Take your arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, open across the chest. Exhale down into that fold. And it might be that you can only come to here, but maybe you can take it all the way down as your arms become heavy, falling overhead. And perhaps you can just take this gentle rock here and almost just feel any stuck energy leaving your body. You're like shaking it out. Then releasing the hands down, hands to hips, gently come all the way up. Turn your right toes outward slightly at a slight angle. We're going to lean to the right. As you come onto the heel of your left foot, lift your left toes up. You're going to drop your hips down. So option 1 is a small bend. You're bringing hands to hips. If you can go deeper, extend your arms forward, really drop those hips down. Then lift to the left, switch sides. And switch. And switch. So we're not only stretching, but we're strengthening here in the legs. Really strong. Next time you come to the right, turn all the way around to the front of the room, lower down your back knee, lift up through the arms. From here, bring your left hand down, right hand to the right thigh. Lift your right toes, push that right thigh away. And if you're doing this through pregnancy, this might be more than enough of a stretch here, but if you can, you're going to place your left toes up. Right arm circles round, grab a hold of the foot. Okay, taking it into this bind. And then release. Step it back, have a little rock around those hips. We're going to take it onto the last side. Last round before we slow it down and we come into Shavasana. So take it back into down dog. If you're doing this from tabletop, then bring your knees down as you lift that left leg up. Take your left foot out to the side, reach with the heel. And slowly place that foot down to the left edge of your mat, outside of your left hand. As you lower the right knee, look forward. Walk your hands to the right edge of your mat. Don't let that left knee follow you. It stays exactly where it is. Hands come to center. And you're gonna lift that right knee, either in 1 or 2 goes or one big step, come forward. Now remember, option 1, you stay in this fold with your feet parallel. Otherwise, toes out to the side, heels in, drop those hips, hands to heart. Let's take that side stretch if you can to the other side. So left arm hooks in front of that left leg, fingertips down as your right arm turns up to the sky. Breathe into here. Bring hands to heart. Rise. Turn the toes in. Right foot comes over the left this time. Option to keep the toes down for balance. Keep your gaze fixed forward. That's going to help you. Can you tuck that foot behind the calf as you sink deeper? Breathe into here. Squeezing those thighs together. Feel this outer hip stretch. Then release this right leg around and back into that warrior 2. So again, option for pregnancy is to have that foot slightly forward. Otherwise, try to have your heel lined up with the arch of your back foot. Draw in through your center, square up through the shoulders and extend the arms out to the side. As we come into that warrior 2, breathe into here. Straighten that left leg, feet parallel. Hands behind the back, come back into that Prasarita fold. As you fall into this pose here, taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And breathe it out. Releasing the hands, bring the hands to the hips as we slowly come back up. You're going to turn your left toes out slightly to the left. As you either bring hands to hips, come onto the right heel, drop over to the left. Option to reach your arms forward and see if you can sink down a little deeper here. Then come up and over to the right. So we're working through those inner thighs, working those legs as we go side to side, really strong. Then the next time we come to the left hold, turn forward, lower that back knee as you bring the arms up. And from here, bring the right hand down, lift the left toes and just push that knee out to the side. Option to stay here, especially if you're doing this through pregnancy. Otherwise, take your right toes up. Left arm circles round, grab a hold of the foot, stretch it out. And release. Take it back, rock around those hips, rock around those wrists. And coming into a child's pose when you're ready, knees wide, feet together. Let's drop those sit bones down to the heels. Reach those arms forward and just rest the forehead down onto the mat. Breathing in here. And as you come into this child's pose, I want you to notice how you feel in those hips. If you feel more open here, if you feel restricted at all. And really think about pressing those sit bones back. So a lot of the time we'll do this where our hips are lifted. So send them down. Stretch across the back. Extend those arms forward. And on your next inhale, slowly walk the hands in. Rising back up. We're going to take the legs out in front of us. And just rock the legs side to side here. Just feeling this gentle release. Press the left heel away, place your right foot onto the mat, right knee stays bent. Right arm up to the sky as we inhale. And exhale, you're going to place that right arm to the right knee as you press the arm into the leg and the leg into the arm, and you're going to look over your left shoulder with your left hand behind you. So we finish in this gentle twist. And release, other way. Right heel reaches away, place your left foot onto the mat. Left arm to the inside of that left leg. Press them in towards one another as your right hand comes behind the back. Look over your right shoulder. And release. Now from here, we're going to finish with a little bit of mindfulness. So this is probably the most important part of the class, just to be able to switch off and to relax and calm the body and the mind, ready for our day. If you have a yoga brick at home, you can use that. If you have a cushion, you can use that too. Just something to sit onto so you're not seated completely flat. And then just have your legs however you want them to be here. Because we have done a lot of hip opening, I'm going to bring my thighs together, my heels out to the side, but this doesn't always feel comfortable in everyone's body. So just choose what works for you. And we're going to just bring the palms down, resting onto the thighs. Again, notice if you're slouching here, and just lengthen, roll the shoulders back. Hopefully that feels a little easier now at the end of your practice. So we close the eyes. Once more, just start to notice how you feel now at the end of your practice. And just notice the gentle rise and fall of the belly as you inhale and you exhale. Just allow every exhale to allow you to let go. Breathing out what you no longer need. Feeling those shoulders relax away from the ears. Relaxing those muscles around the jaw. So we allow that chin to become heavy. Slowly noticing the energy around you, the energy within you. Feeling calmer and ready for the day ahead. And from here, I'd like you to bring hands to heart. Taking a moment just to come back to that intention you set for yourself at the beginning of this class. Bringing that into your mind's eye and taking that with you throughout your day. Let us bow our heads in gratitude here as we close our practice. Namaste. So slowly lifting the head, gently blinking the eyes open, and then releasing the arms, just taking any little stretches here that you might need. Rather than reaching straight back out of this pose, just take your time here as you slowly come up. So thank you so much everybody for joining me in this class today. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to message me. I'm going to see if I can add this to my IGTV so that you can join in later if you wanted to do another little yoga class later. Have an amazing day.